I look straight to the opening line in your paper. You quote Sir Karl Popper's view, the following maxim for all sciences: never aim for more precision than is required for the problem in hand. Professor, can I ask you, the response that we've seen so far, is it precise enough? Your estimate of the precision of the response to the problem and the scale of the problem at hand?
Well, I think the scale of the problem at hand is illustrated by the fact that if we actually cause the economy to go down, if we crash GDP per head by more than 6.4%, then we have a problem, because at that point we will be taking a greater toll on life than we will be saving.
So what approach should be taken here then, Philip, in terms of lockdowns? Because a lot of people would take the counterpoint saying that that is really necessary at this point to stop the spread of this virus and incite a health crisis globally and a healthcare crisis globally.
Yes, I think that's right, and I wouldn't disagree with that. But lockdown can only buy us time temporarily. It's our main tool, but it is only a temporary measure. And we actually have a problem because you need 2 months lockdown in order to try to contain this and return us perhaps to February levels of contagion that we were seeing. But new evidence has come in from the IFO Institute in Munich, which tells us that GDP will fall by 1% for every week of lockdown. So 2 months may be what we require. It's actually going to be really about the maximum we can afford.
Well, of course, it is that very difficult balance between life, death, and trying to get some kind of normalcy back. You're using a particular methodology, the J-value GDP. This is the model that you use. And in your research, you talk about if we get business back to usual. I just want to try and get some numbers from you, Philip. In the thesis of business as usual by September of this year, can you just give me an estimate of the scale of the loss of life?
Well, we're actually talking about something very severe, and my sort of option zero in my paper is called business as usual. That just means carry on. It's not one that I'm advocating. I'm not actually advocating any of the options in there. That's for policymakers who, as you say, have enormously difficult decisions to take. Yeah, if we do not do something, then we stand in line to lose equivalent 400,000 average lives in terms of life expectancy. The problem and the kicker is that if we do too much, then we lose life expectancy in other places.
Exactly. And, you know, economists are really grappling with this point generally, Philip, because there has actually been some research out there that's actually shown that during recessions, life expectancy rises, which I know might sound counterintuitive and obviously is different to what your research has shown. But, Philip, when we come out on the other side of this crisis...
On that point about life expectancy rises, I think we're talking about a rather temporary effect there. What we've actually seen, if you look at the figures from the financial crash, we can see that it actually stalls and is less than it was.
But Philip, just to
obviously in your paper you make a number of different points, and you say I don't advocate any one particular thesis, that is for policymakers. But as you look at the response from this government so far in terms of fiscal, in terms of monetary response from the Bank of England, relative to other authorities, your assessment so far on the consequences for life expectancy and health?
I have missed the end of that question. If I can guess what you might have said, it is quite justified to spend enormous sums of money to counter this enormous problem. is what the J value would say.